25 years ago, 11 women got together from across the country to form a national organization to advocate, educate, and create a network of women business owners and executives in the construction industry. WCOE has become the voice for women owners and executives in the construction industry. Let's take a look at our history and achievements.
As I said, I was one of the founders of WCOE along with 11 other women. We met over a 4th of July weekend 25 years ago to discuss the many issues which face the women contractor. At the time, I was the only one who owned their own firm. The rest of the women were all, at that time, employed by other contractors.
At the time, there was a small group of us that knew each other from around the country, and there was every group imaginable represented, but there was no one representing women contractors and executives in the industry.
We discussed the problems that the woman business owner has, which were not addressed anywhere. We couldn't find any statistics that even showed that there were women-owned construction companies.
There was very much a myth going on at the time that all woman-owned businesses were fronts. And we wanted to, first of all, show that there were many legitimate woman-owned businesses in the construction industry.
I can tell you personally the need for some grassroots lobbying on the part of women in construction was utmost in our minds. We really needed to try to get some legislation enacted that would open the doors for women contractors, and that was the main thrust of what we needed to accomplish.
Minority contractors had a lot of assistance, but women did not. And there were not even any statistics at that time that showed how many women construction-owned firms there were in the United States.
One of the first things that happened to me is I happened to be up at a meeting at Caltrans, and I was meeting with their civil rights department, and I was with another association, and when the association, who was kind of anti-woman-owned business, left the room, the people told me, get very visible, get very active very quickly, because they're trying to take away and do away with women-owned business goals because they think that everyone's a front.
I have a real hope that more women would join and come to a meeting, because that's when you find out the real benefits.
There's many women-owned businesses, but women-owned contractors and women in the construction business are still unique to the field.
The majority of women don't seem to realize the importance of belonging to an association. Individually, we are not going to get a lot done. WCOE has helped many women. We help women with their certifications. We've gotten a lot of legislation passed.
Our first meetings were exciting. For the most part, we met in Washington, D.C., and doors would fly open. We would ask for appointments. We would get them to meet with high-level participants in the White House or over in the legislative, in the House and the Senate. We meet with some really powerful committeemen and committeewomen.
In Washington, D.C., at one of our first visits, we met with what was at that time called the President's Advisory Council, and they were so excited to hear and learn about us. They put off the meeting for a day. It was department heads and assistant directors from various agencies, and they wanted to get as many of them available as possible so they could talk about opportunities for women-owned businesses.
We learned to go from the Department of Commerce to the Department of Labor to the Small Business Administration, all in one afternoon. We learned to go to our legislator's office and walk the halls of Congress and just knock on Congress people's door and introduce ourselves and tell them what we wanted and what we needed. And it was amazing at the reception that we got. we loved it. And as we went from year to year, we gained more confidence in ourselves and in our association.
In fact, at our charter meeting, which was in Chicago in 1984, October of 1984, the business liaison to President Reagan came and spoke. The Department of Housing and Urban Development, the Department of Transportation, the Department of Energy, all those came from Washington, D.C. to Chicago to talk to our new fledgling group and give us the opportunities that were going to be available to women-owned businesses.
We learned as we grew that all the legislation starts in Washington and trickles down to our local levels. Therefore, our thrust has been in Washington, D.C. The Small Business Administration did not recognize us. There have been goals that have been set for women, but it has never been funded.
There's a lot of opposition to goals. My argument on that is a goal is a goal. It's a desirable quantity to achieve. It's not a quota. It's not, why would people object to goals? But they do.
We were determined to do something about some of these inequities, and in the last 25 years, we've done something to get goals, to get legislation passed that will assist the woman-owned business, not just construction, but other businesses as well.
Agencies, I believe, who know us, that it automatically, it can be, if you're carrying, say, a WCOE brochure, or if you're talking to people, they recognize us as legitimate, viable businesses.
We've really are at the head of the spearhead in the effort to open up construction industry to more people and make it a much easier place for entry of minority and women.
Any WCOE meeting, you're always high energy. You come back and you feel like you get revitalized as to your purposes and what all the different, you hear your other fellow contractors' problems, and you share ideas and stories. Try to also throw business each other's way in many cases. So, and we still are the only group that represents women contractors and executives on a national level. And we still are always working to show that women-owned businesses need their piece of the construction market.
You have to be aware of what changes are being made at all levels of government. Slowly but surely, our male counterparts are finding that we do have an equitable part of the industry, that we can be competitive, that we are good employers, that we are good business people. We can build a good construction project, and we're here to stay.
Happy 25th anniversary, WCOE. I'm so excited that we are still here, and I hope that 100 years from now there is another group that will be celebrating the anniversary of WCOE.
Well, congratulations, 25 years. We've come a long way, and here's to another 25.
You're one of the most wonderful hotels in the world. You're in our nation's capital. Take advantage of all that you can while you're there. Learn from all the speakers and the seminars and the workshops. You're with a terrific group of women. Take advantage of it. I wish I were with you. My thoughts and prayers are with you.
From the 11 original founders to the hundreds of women who have joined our ranks since that time, WCOE is the voice of women construction owners and executives in this industry. Thank you for joining us as we have shared our history and accomplishments over the last 25 years. Let me invite you to join us on our journey for the next 25 years.